Welcome back to our channel, dear viewers. We appreciate your continued support. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more intriguing content. Today, we delve into the dark of a boy born in the heart of Cincinnati, Ohio, on November 12, 1934. His name was Charles Millis Manson, a moniker that would later echo ominously around the world. His birth was far from a joyful event, surrounded by hardship and struggle. His mother, a mere teenager and unwed, was just as much a child as she was a parent. Charles's formative years were riddled with turmoil and tragedy. His mother, Kathleen Maddox, lived a life mired in crime, filled with petty theft, forgery, and frequent imprisonments. This chaotic existence was the reality that greeted young Charles, a reality barren of stability, caring guidance. For a child, it was a bleak and harsh reality, one that would twist and form his view of society and power. Throughout these pivotal years, Charles was passed from relative to relative, from state-run homes to correctional facilities. His childhood was a lethal mix of neglect and creating the perfect environment to nurture his emerging criminal tendencies. By his 13th birthday, Charles was already familiar with the confines of a correctional facility. This chaotic upbringing, Charles molded a warped perspective of the world. He saw life as a ruthless battlefield where the strong dominated the weak, where deceit and dominance were survival tools. This mindset would eventually shape his dangerously alluring personality, a charm that would draw in the lost and shape them into the infamous Manson family cult. The evolution of this twisted worldview did not happen overnight. It was the result of relentless hardship, of feeling like an unwanted pawn in a system more focused on punishment than rehabilitation. It was the outcome of a society that had let him down repeatedly, and in retaliation, Charles Manson would reject that society, giving birth to a darkness that would stun everyone. Little did anyone know this tormented child would mature to mastermind one of the most horrifying murder sprees in American history. Fast forward to the late 1960s. A time of love, peace and music, where a charismatic Manson attracted a following. We find ourselves in the heart of the Summer of Love San Francisco, a place where dreams were born and boundaries blurred. Amidst the flower children and the echoing refrains of peace, a wolf in sheep's clothing emerged. Charles Manson, with his scruffy beard, wild eyes and the uncanny ability to spin tales, began to magnetize a particular demographic: young, impressionable women. Manson, with his self-styled philosophy, a twisted blend of Scientology, Dale Carnegie and Beatles lyrics, struck a chord with these lost souls. He presented himself as a kind of guru, a prophet of a new age. He promised them love, acceptance and a family. And thus, the Manson family was born. This was not a family born out of love or shared values. It was a family created from the ashes of broken dreams and lost innocence. Each member was drawn to Manson's charismatic aura like moths to a flame. They were young women, mostly in their late teens and early 20s, who had fled from their own damaged pasts, looking for something or someone to believe in. Manson gave them that belief. He gave them a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging. He manipulated their vulnerabilities, twisted their trust, and shaped them into his loyal followers. They saw him not just as a leader, but as a lover, a father, a messiah. They were willing to do anything for him, even if it meant crossing the boundaries of morality and law. The Manson family, as they came to be known, lived a nomadic life, moving from one rundown ranch to another, living off the scraps of society. They were a motley crew of lost souls, bound together by their devotion to Manson. They were his disciples, his children, his soldiers, and so, in the midst of love and peace, a sinister cult was forming under the guise of a family. Little did the world know the terror that this family would soon unleash. In the midst of love and peace, a sinister cult was forming under the guise of a family. Manson, a master manipulator, spun a web of delusions and prophecies. Within the heart of this web lay the helter-skelter prophecy, a chilling vision of apocalypse and race war that Manson conjured from the depths of his deranged imagination. Manson's prophecy was a terrifying forecast of an impending race war that he believed was destined to ravage the United States. He named it Helter Skelter, borrowing the title from a Beatles song, twisting its meaning to fit his warped narrative. In Manson's prophecy, the African-American community would rise against the white population, sparking a violent and merciless conflict. He believed that his family, as he called his followers, would be spared from this chaos by hiding in an underground city in the desert. After the war, he predicted, they would surface to rule over the survivors, with Manson himself at the helm. Manson, with his charismatic charm and manipulative prowess, convinced his followers that this prophecy was inevitable. He used it as a tool to control their actions, to mold them into obedient soldiers primed for his bidding. The helter-skelter prophecy became the family's mantra, a dark doctrine that justified their deeds and fueled their devotion to Manson. The prophecy was more than just a tale of doom. It was a strategic device that Manson used to instill fear, to exert control, and to justify violence. His followers, entranced by his charismatic persona, bought into this prophecy, accepting it as truth. They were willing to kill for Manson to trigger the helter-skelter apocalypse he so fervently preached. The prophecy was not just a delusion, but a weapon wielded by Manson to control his followers and incite them to commit heinous acts of violence. It was a testament to Manson's manipulative genius, his ability to bend minds, and his capacity to turn his followers into instruments of his will. In Manson's twisted reality, chaos was the only salvation. The summer of 1969, a season that would forever be marred by a series of horrific murders. As the sweltering heat of the summer set in, so too did a chilling sense of dread which would grip the nation. The infamous Tate LaBianca murders, orchestrated by the Manson family, sent shockwaves through the heart of America, unveiling a level of brutality that was unthinkable. On the night of August 8th, 5 lives were extinguished in the Hollywood home of actress Sharon Tate. Tate herself, 8 months pregnant, was among the victims alongside her friends Jay Sebring, Abigail Folger, Wojciech Frykowski and Stephen Parent. The chilling message "Pig" was scrawled in blood on the front door, a haunting testament to the savagery of the crime. Less than 24 hours later, the terror continued. Lino and Rosemary LaBianca, a well-respected couple living in the Los Feliz neighborhood of Los Angeles, were found brutally slain in their home. Words like "death to pigs" and "helter-skelter," again written in blood, served as a grim calling card of the Manson family. The nation was paralyzed with fear. The randomness and brutal nature of the crimes struck a chord of terror that resonated far beyond the city limits of Los Angeles. The victims were not involved in any criminal activities. They were not targeted for any personal vendetta. They were simply at the wrong place at the wrong time, caught in the crossfire of Manson's twisted vision of an apocalyptic race war, his so-called helter-skelter. These horrific crimes marked a turning point in American culture. The innocence and optimism that had characterized the early 60s were shattered, replaced by a chilling fear of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of society. The summer of love had turned into a summer of fear, a summer of death. The peace of the 60s was shattered, replaced by a chilling fear. In 1970, the world watched as Manson and his family were brought to justice. The trial of Charles Manson and his family was a spectacle like no other. It was a courtroom drama filled with chilling testimonies, shocking revelations and bizarre antics that grabbed headlines across the globe. Manson, with a swastika carved into his forehead, presented himself as an emblem of defiance. He and his co-defendants, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel and Leslie Van Houten, often disrupted proceedings with their strange behavior, including fits of laughter and singing. The prosecution presented a compelling case, led by Deputy District Attorney Vincent Bugliosi, who painstakingly pieced together the Manson family's grisly deeds. The testimony of Linda Kasabian, a family member turned state's witness, was crucial. She provided a chilling first-hand account of the nights of the murders, placing Manson as the orchestrator of the heinous crimes. As the trial unfolded, it was clear that Manson's influence extended far beyond the confines of the courtroom. The media circus outside the courthouse was relentless. The trial was covered extensively, not just in the United States, but across the world. Manson's eerie charisma and the macabre nature of the crimes made the trial a pop culture phenomenon, influencing books, films and music for decades to come. After a grueling 9-month trial, the jury returned a guilty verdict. Manson and his co-defendants were sentenced to death, a sentence later commuted to life imprisonment after California abolished the death penalty. The verdict, while bringing a sense of justice, did little to erase the horror of the Manson family's deeds from the public consciousness. The trial ended, but the horror of Manson's deeds lingered on. The Manson family trial, dubbed the trial of the century, remains a chilling chapter in the annals of American criminal history. It serves as a stark reminder of the capacity for manipulation, the lure of charisma, and the depths to which humanity can sink when led astray. In the wake of the trial, society grappled with the grim reality of Manson's crimes. A chilling reminder of the depths of human depravity, the Manson family murders left an indelible scar on the American psyche. Manson and his followers, once free spirits roaming the Californian landscape, were confined to the cold, harsh reality of life behind bars. Charles Manson, the puppeteer of this grotesque spectacle, was handed a life sentence. His puppet strings cut, Manson spent the rest of his days in the confines of a prison cell, a far cry from the freedom of Spahn Ranch. His followers too were handed similar sentences, a lifetime to contemplate the horrific acts they committed under Manson's spell. Yet despite the prison bars and the passage of time, Manson's spectre refused to fade away. His eerie charisma, combined with the sheer brutality of his crimes, continued to captivate the public's attention. Books were written, films were made, all attempting to understand, or perhaps to simply bear witness to this grim chapter of American history. Manson became a symbol of the dark underbelly of the free-spirited 60s, a chilling reminder of how easily manipulated the human mind can be. The Manson family murders also left a lasting impact on American culture. The case triggered a seismic shift in the public's perception of crime and punishment. The trial, broadcasted live across the nation, brought the grim reality of these heinous acts into every living room, shattering the illusion of peace and love that had defined the era. It marked the end of innocence for a generation, a stark wake-up call that even in the land of dreams, nightmares could lurk around the corner. Manson may be gone, but his dark legacy continues to haunt us. His name and the crimes associated with it serve as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk within the human soul, a haunting echo of a time when the American dream turned into a horrific nightmare. As we delve into the darkness of Manson's life and crimes, it's crucial to extract a lesson. So what can we take away from this grim tale? For starters, the dangers of manipulation. Manson's ability to manipulate and control those around him was a crucial factor in the formation of the Manson family. This case serves as a stark reminder of the power of persuasion. It shows us that manipulation can take many forms, and often it's not as overt as we might think. It's often subtle, insidious, and wrapped in a guise of love and acceptance. Next, the power of charismatic leaders. Manson was undeniably charismatic, a trait he used to lure in his followers and bend them to his will. His charismatic nature, however, was a mask hiding a dark and dangerous mind. This tale highlights the need for us to question and scrutinize our leaders, no matter how charismatic or appealing they may appear. We must remember that charisma isn't a measure of a person's character or intentions. Finally, the need for vigilance in society. The Manson family was able to operate and commit their heinous crimes due to a lack of awareness and vigilance in society. Today, we are reminded of the importance of staying informed and aware of the world around us, of questioning things that seem too good to be true, of being vigilant about our safety and the safety of those around us. The Manson case is a chilling example of what can happen when manipulation and charisma are wielded by a malevolent mind. It serves as a stark reminder of the need for vigilance, awareness, and critical thinking in our society. The story of Charles Manson serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of charisma and charm. A darkness that, once unleashed, can result in unimaginable horror. Let us never forget the lessons this dark chapter in history has taught us, ensuring we never allow such atrocities to repeat themselves. Before we end this video, we have a small request. If you found this video informative and interesting, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us reach more people and spread awareness about the importance of vigilance and critical thinking in society. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. We regularly cover true crime stories, historical events, and other intriguing topics that provide valuable insights into human behavior and society. Your support helps us create more such videos and keeps us moving forward. It empowers us to delve into more complex topics and bring you the lessons they hold. So please join us in our journey to explore the depths of human nature, the intricacies of society, and the lessons we can extract from them. Thank you for your support and for being a part of our journey. Together we can ensure that the lessons of history are not forgotten and that we continue to learn, grow, and become better as a society.